Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm here to break down the NASCAR Cup Series race at Phoenix this weekend. We got a nice little race here, nice weekend of sports, college basketball, NASCAR. If you're new here, make sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe to this channel. It really helps me grow. Just trying to continue to grow this channel. All the growth we've had throughout NASCAR season, just trying to continue to grow that. If you want to get more of my content, you can always subscribe to my Patreon. I'll put the link down below. It's $10 a month. You're going to get content for all three series, Cup Series, Truck Series, Xfinity Series. Obviously, there's not a race for Truck Series every week, but when the races are, you're going to, get content for that, projections, rankings, a bunch of other stuff. So be sure to check that out. I'll put the link down below. If you want to follow me on Twitter, put the link down below for that as well. I'll answer any questions you have over there as well. And of course, if you want to join the America DFS Discord, which is where I'm the content creator, and you can I'll put the Discord link down there as well. I think it's just a good way to, learn about fantasy sports and talk about fantasy sports with people, learn about DFS, not just for NASCAR, like there's stuff for other sports that I'm not really a part of, but for the NASCAR section I am, so be sure to check that out. And yeah, that's really all I got to say on that. Oh, wait, one more thing. Always forget to do this at the beginning of the videos. Always do, but I'm not doing it today. Live stream Sunday, 12 or 12:30. In that range, I will start somewhere. That is where I will go live. Go over all my final thoughts of all of this slate, who I really like, who I'm playing a lot of, and you guys can ask questions, and I will answer them for you for as long as you guys are asking questions. Once you guys are done asking questions, I'm out. But as long as you guys are there, I will be answering questions. If I'm there for 2 hours, I'll be answering questions. So be sure to turn on that notification bell so you know when I go live on Sunday. And if you're interested in the Xfinity Series, be sure to watch that video as well and turn on the notification bell so you know when I go live for the same thing on Saturday though. So be sure to hit that notification bell as well. That's really all I got on that. Let's get into the plays. Look, Kevin Harvick. This is going to be Kevin Harvick's going to be the determining factor of the slate. This is wild to me. I cannot believe how bad he's been. Like last week, I said over and over again, fade Harvick, only because he was on the pole. That was literally it. I really didn't think that car was going to be that bad. I thought he'd at least be able to hang in the top 5 to top 10, but oh my gosh, Stewart Haas Racing sucks. Like, I don't know what is going on with them. They are bad. Kevin Harvick looked brutal. But Kevin Harvick is like the best when it comes to these tracks, man. When you look at Phoenix, it's him and Kyle Busch, and you look at short and flat tracks, it's him and Kyle Busch. So what are we doing with Kevin Harvick here? Like, if you look at track history, before Phoenix reconfigured the track, Kevin Harvick was like not even close to being the best. Like, he was obviously the best, but ever since they've reconfigured it, it's kind of gotten a little bit more even. He hasn't been as great, but he's still been really good. So Kevin Harvick, what do you do with Kevin Harvick? I'm really interested to see where his ownership comes in. If people are gonna play him because his track history is so great, I'm gonna fade. If he's not getting ownership, I'm playing him. So we're gonna see where that's at by Sunday. He's got such great track history here. Second best average finish at all three of those. When you look at average position, second in Phoenix, but first at short and flat tracks, lap sled, 178 at Phoenix, 1,270 at short tracks, 773 at flat tracks. Dude's just a stud. So it's just it's what are you gonna do? It's just how are people making their lineups? Are they making their lineups based off of speed from this year, or are they making lineups based off track history? In the past, it's been track history, but man, like it's rare you get a combination of someone who's been racing so terribly and burned so many people the last few weeks and having such great track history and being the most expensive driver. This is a rare combination of those three. So I'm interested to see where that's at. If Kevin Harvick's not going to get ownership, like I'm going to play low on Kevin Harvick literally every single time. I think this team, it's Stewart Haas Racing, like they've been great for years now. They'll figure it out. So hopefully they'll figure it out at Phoenix this week. So I'm going to still be interested there, but if he's getting lower ownership, I'm not. He starts 18th too. That's another part of that combination. And he's starting in the back. Not in the back, but farther back. So that's why I'm looking at Kevin Harvick this week. Chase Elliott's $11,500. Last time we saw a race at Phoenix Motor Speedway, he won the championship, and he was not even close to being, he was so fast. That car was ridiculous. He starts 6th here. When you look at lap sled, 262 at Phoenix, 908 at short tracks, 658 at flat tracks. Hendrick Motorsports has just been, lightning fast so far this year. Now Chase Elliott is, the one guy, he's been fast, but it's just the results haven't really shown it. Last week at Las Vegas, he had a really fast car, and he had some issues, ended up getting wrecked, so that was tough, but I expect this car to be really fast. I expect him to be, getting fast laps, leading laps, so I really like that. I'm also really going to like Joey Logano. He's been really good at Phoenix over the years as well when you look at lap sled and fast laps. 278 lap sled at Phoenix, 1,100 at short tracks, 1,071 at flat tracks. When you look at fast laps, 100 at Phoenix, 510 at short tracks, 388 at flat tracks. Starts 9th, offers us some place differential. I think he won this race a year ago. I believe he won this race a year ago. I think this was... I'm not actually 100% on that. He won 2 races to start the year. I know one of them was Vegas last year. I want to say the other one was Phoenix too, but I'm really not 100% on that. But He's been good at this track, led laps at tracks similar. Gonna like that as a potential dominator. Kyle Busch starts 7th, and if you're looking at track history, he's the best. First, 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 and then third average position at flat tracks. When you look at laps led, most at Phoenix by like over 200. 1,500 laps led at short tracks, 1,400 laps led at flat tracks. And this is all with the bad year he had last year. Kyle Busch sucked last year. He wasn't leading laps, and he was still leads his categories in all these at this track. But Kyle Busch still hasn't really found the speed that I think we've wanted all year already. Like, he wasn't fast at Miami. He wasn't fast at Vegas. He was fast at the road course, but that's a completely different track. So that scares me a little bit. But he starts 7th. I don't know how much. This is kind of the same thing with Kevin Harvick. Like, if him and Busch are getting a ton of ownership, I'm going to fade. If they're not, I'm going to play him and just hope for the best. Hope that they get their cars figured out. Because I know I've seen speed from Kyle Busch this year. And, I mean, the road course is a flat track. Like it's a flat track. So that's kind of interesting. I'm going to be really interested in Kyle Busch here. Brad Keselowski starts on the pole. Oh, man, I don't want to fade him, man. This one's hard for me to fade than Harvick last week. Like, this just screams to me that this is the one that, because I talked about how there's a few races of the year where the pole sitter last year, when, the whole no practice, no qualifying thing, we don't know. That's why we want to fade the pole sitter. If you want to, ask me a question about that, I can get more into that on another basis of why I'm fading pole sitters so far this year. But, there were a few last year where the pole sitter dominated the race. And this race screams Brad Keselowski. Like, Brad Keselowski has been fast this year. He's led laps at pretty much at the last two tracks, Miami and Vegas. He was leading laps. He was fast. Keselowski was the second fastest car last week in Vegas. Now he starts on the pole, and this type of track, this type of race, Brad Keselowski dominated last year. New Hampshire Motor Speedway in the middle of the summer. No one was even close. Richmond in the playoffs. Nobody was even close. Those are two tracks really similar to Phoenix. Phoenix last year, he was the second fastest car as well. And honestly, if his picker didn't screw up, that would have been an interesting battle for the championship in that race. So, I mean, oh my gosh. It's scary to fade him, man. And honestly, his track history, Phoenix isn't great. 11th best average finish, but this is where he's good. This is where this team was just elite last year, and they've been fast start the year. 145 laps led at Phoenix, 1,500 at short tracks, 1,200 at flat tracks. I can't say anything bad about Brad Keselowski. This is going to be a tough fade for me, and I honestly might not do it. This screams like the race where the pole sitter actually does well. I know he's going to get ownership, but I'm not really all that worried about it. So, Martin Truex Jr., probably not going to be all that excited here. $10,100, starts 5th. 5th best average finish at Phoenix, 3rd best at short tracks, 3rd best at flat tracks. His track history is great, but laps led here has not been great. Only 22 laps led at Phoenix over the last few years, although he does have the most laps led in the field at short tracks and the most laps led in the field at flat tracks. That does interest me, but Phoenix hasn't been as great. I'd rather see. That's the thing, man. That's the thing. Like, do you play Keselowski or do you play Truex? Like, it's just it's what do you do here, or do you play Kyle Busch? And all three of them look good, and it's just you have to decide which one you want to go with. I feel like I'm gonna end up going Truex because Keselowski is gonna be so highly owned. But Truex to me doesn't scream like a great play, but I don't think anyone's gonna play him, so that could be interesting. Denny Hamlin starts 3rd, $9,900. Yeah, I mean, like, Hamlin hasn't been great this year, but he has 182 laps led at Phoenix, 1,000 laps led at short tracks, and 805 laps led at flat tracks. Although I will say, this kind of race, these flatter short tracks last year were not great for Hamlin, so we'll see if they've made improvements. I think Hamlin can get a friendly laps. I'm going to be interested. I'm still going to play him. Kyle Larson, I'm going right back there. I'm literally, until something changes, I'm playing every 100 car. That's, like, those cars right now are elite. They are elite fast. I mean, those cars are insane right now. $9,600 starting 2nd. Kyle Larson dominated last week. He had by far the best car. We've seen all 400 cars be fast this year. Larson, Bowman, Elliott, and Byron, all 4 have been fast. Larson is the 3rd best average finish at Phoenix. He's done well at Phoenix in trash equipment. 56 laps led it and not good equipment. Like Ross Chastain, you see how he's driving this year? Yeah, that's Carl Larson needs to drive. I know Chastain is nowhere as good as Larson, but still. 495 laps led at short tracks and 102 laps led at flat tracks. And not good equipment. Give me that. I'm cool with that. I'll play Kyle Larson. Ryan Blaney starts 8th. 3rd best average finish at Phoenix, but not great at other short and flat tracks. So he has been good at Bristol. Just had some bad luck and some accidents. But he has led laps here. 98 laps led at Phoenix, 788 laps led at short tracks, and 378 flat tracks. He almost won this race. Oh my gosh, I'm getting my years mixed up. I don't remember if that was last year or 2 years ago. He almost won this race a year or two ago. I don't remember which one it was, but led a bunch of laps in that race. He's shown speed here, starts 8th. I'm willing to pay for that. I think he's, a low-end dominator. That car was fast last week. I actually, early on that race, Blaney was, the fastest car, and I was like, oh my gosh, Ryan Blaney's going to win, and I faded him. And, I mean, he still ended up being a really good play, but at least didn't lead a bunch of laps. So Ryan Blaney is $9,300. Starting 8th, I'm interested there. Eric Almirola, are we going to go back to the Almirola train? Like, starting 32nd here, he's been good at Phoenix. 10th best average finish, 11th at short tracks, 9th at flat tracks, 10th average position at Phoenix, 11th at short tracks, 10th at flat tracks. He should hang in that 15 to not to 8 to 15 range is where I expect Almirola to run, assuming those Stewart-Haas racing cars don't suck. 33rd laps led at Phoenix, 135 at short tracks, 174 at flat tracks. I don't really expect him to lead laps, but if he can get up inside there, he's going to be a good play. Alex Bowman, love him. I'd rather play Bowman than Almirola 100 out of 100 times. Now, it's not like Bowman's been great at Phoenix, 16th best average finish, but 13th at short tracks. Look, he hasn't led laps at Phoenix, only 44 at short tracks. But when you look at fast laps, 269 fast laps at short tracks, like that's always, like that. You're going to be hearing me say that all year until Alex Bowman dominates and wins a race. That guy has fast laps all the time, but for whatever reason, he just cannot find his way to the front. Once he finds his way to the front, it's over. No one's passing him unless there's, cautions or whatever, but for the most part, no one's passing him. And I am just going to keep going back there. That car is lightning fast, starts 21st, offers us place differential, and I'm going to play it. I'd rather play him over to Benedetto. I know that history's better, but that car is so much faster right now. And Matty D actually was running well last week, and bad luck. I feel like that's been the story of his season, just bad luck. And at $8,500, I'm kind of interested there, but it feels a little bit pricey. I think I should rather play Bowman and Almirola, to be honest. But if you want to play DiBenedetto, I don't hate it. William Byron, look, I said I'm going to keep playing the Hendrick cars. He starts 10th. This is actually a contract that Byron's been good at. 13th best average finish at Phoenix, 13th at flat tracks. We look at average position, 14th at Phoenix, 16th at short tracks, 13th at flat tracks. We've seen him lead laps at these type of races. 15th laps led at Phoenix, 22 at short tracks, 69 at flat tracks. Like, he's actually been pretty solid. He starts 10th. It's not going to be a ton of place differential upside, but look, everyone last week counted him out. And what was he doing? He led the first, 10, 15 laps? And then what happened after that? He ran inside the top 10 the whole rest of the day and got some fast laps. Like, William Byron he's here this year. This Hendrick team, all of them are here this year. This is going to be a guy you're going to have to pay attention to as a dominator down the road this year. Now, he's probably not going to dominate as many races as some of these other guys, but that potential's still there. I'm going to be interested in paying that. Christopher Bell starts 4th. If he starts too high for me, I just don't want to pay for that. He just starts too high. Tyler Reddick, $7,900 starting 23rd. This guy is going to be super chalky this week, but that's fine. I don't know. See, that depends also, because when you look at track history, just his average finish, Reddick's isn't great. But last year, this race, Tyler Reddick had a top 5 car. He had a top 5 run going. Was literally in the top 5, and he blew a tire. And I remember I was so mad because I had so much Tyler Reddick, and that just killed my day. But, that car was lightning fast. He's been good at Phoenix in this series. He's been good at Phoenix in the Xfinity series. So I'm fine paying that $7,900 for someone who has definite top 10 upside. I'm willing to pay that. Kurt Busch, I'm interested as well. $7,700 as top 5 upside. 8th best average finish at Phoenix, 9th at short tracks, 12th at flat tracks. He's done well average position-wise. He's been fast to start this year. He has top 5 upside for sure. I'm going to be interested in Kurt Busch. Are you going back to Chase Briscoe? Because Briscoe's hurt me literally every race. Literally, I have not had a race where Chase Briscoe has not hurt me this year. Yeah, that's tough. That is really, really tough. I'm not going to lie. I'm not a big fan of that one. But that Stewart-Haas racing has not been good. I believe in the talent Chase Briscoe has. He's, a very talented driver. If Stewart-Haas can get their, crap together, they're going to be kind of interesting here at $7,500 starting 26. I think he could contend for a top 15, and that's going to be a good run. Austin Dillon starts 13th. This is not what we like to go for. This is not the type of track we'd like to go for or go to for Austin Dillon. Starts 13th, only 18th best average finish at Phoenix, 20th at short tracks, 19th at flat tracks. He has 19th best average position in all 3 of those. I'm gonna avoid Austin Dillon this week. Bubba Wallace starts 25th. Another one. What do you do, Bubba Wallace? Because I've been playing at Bubba Wallace every single week, and he's been burning me every single week because he sucks. He's really not good. I know last week it wasn't his fault. It wasn't his fault. He had power steering issues. That's not his fault. But still, he sucks. But that car is so good. That car, once, they had mechanical issues last week. But if they don't have mechanical issues, that car is a top 15 car every single week. Maybe a top 10 car. Bubba Wallace is not a top 10 driver, though. That's the problem. So, you just got to hope the equipment outdoes the talent here. Starts 25th. I think he could, if that car's, working, he should be able to contend for a top 10. I'm just waiting. I just want to see. I know Miami, he didn't run well, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, give him another race. I want to see a race where he doesn't have any mechanical issues, and I want to see if he's actually just trash or if he can really do this. And I want to be ahead of the curve. I don't want if Bubba Wallace all of a sudden becomes a top 15 driver this year, which I think it's kind of unlikely, but it's still possible. I want to be ahead of that curve. So I'm not. Who was the guy I missed? John Hunter Nemechek in the Truck Series. I'm not missing on another one of those. I mean, I know this is different, but like, I'm not missing on this. Bubba Wallace starts 25th. That car is like, when you look at the equipment here, like from Bubba Wallace down. I mean, he's better than Austin Dillon, but Briscoe, when they're good, when that 14 car is good, like they're about the same. But like Bubba Wallace down, like 2311 Racing, better than Petty, better than Ganassi. Not better than Stewart, but better than Roush, better than Front Row, better than Spire, better than Trackhouse, better than Front Row, better than JTG, and I don't even want to get into the Rick Ware cars. So this car's good, so I'm still going to be kind of interested. Eric Jones, $7,000, starts 14th in RPM Racing, not interested. Ross Chastain, $6,900, starting 22nd. He sucks, not interested. Cole Custer, I'm going to be going back to. He burned us last week, but I think this Stewart-Haas Racing, like, I just don't. This is another thing, I want to be ahead of the curve on Bubba Wallace. I also want to be ahead of the curve on Stewart-Haas Racing. Like, they're going to get back on track. Like, I have no doubt about that. They're a really good team. They'll figure it out. I want to be ahead of the curve on that. I think Cole Custer is going to have a pretty solid year this year. I think he's going to be, contending for top 10s, most weeks. I mean, he had a top 10 in Miami for sure. Cut a tire 2 laps ago. It's really unfortunate. Starting 24th, I think that's kind of interesting. I think he could contend for a top 10. If that car's fine, he should be able to contend for a top 10. It's going to give us some place differential I'm going to be very interested in. Ryan Newman starts 19th. Ryan Newman's track history actually isn't bad to short and flat tracks in Phoenix, but I still, look, I told you last, Homestead, Roush was on their stuff, man. I mean, they were balling. They were balling out. Like, I'm not going to lie. They were just racing really great. And I was like, last week I was like, okay, I kind of want to see if they can do it again, because I'm just not a truster in Roush, or I'm not, faithful in Roush Family Racing to be great right now, and they weren't. So $6,600 for Ryan Newman starting 19th, going to pass. Chris Buescher, $6,400 starting 17th. A little more interested, but probably still going to pass for the most part. I just think he's a better driver, more talented than Ryan Newman. I'm pretty sure Roush is probably giving their best cars to Chris Buescher at this point, because he is their young driver. That's the guy they want to build around for the future. So at $6,400, yeah, I'm going to be kind of interested in Chris Buescher. I'll probably get some of him. Michael McDowell starting 16th. I'm not going to play him. I mean, look, he's starting to fall off a little bit. It's kind of what we expected from him. No. I'm just not. People are going to be like, oh, he had 3 top 10s start the year. He starts 16th. He can get another top 10. Like, no, he's not. Front Row Racing, Roush is a better team than Front Row Racing. Like, that car's not that good. It's not going to be able to drive up there. I don't want to get that. Corey LaJoie, I hope people continue to play him. Every week I get people saying, should we play Corey LaJoie? He starts 33rd. Corey LaJoie started 33rd. Last year, Corey LaJoie. Like, no, this Spire car sucks. Like, it's awful. There's a reason he's starting 33rd 2 weeks in a row. It's because, he sucks. And they're making you pay $6,000 for him? No way. I'm going Suarez 100% of the time over Corey LaJoie. Every single time, Suarez. Starts 27th. He's been good here in the past with good equipment. 15th best average finish in good equipment. None of these stats count for last year. None of Daniel Suarez from last year is in these stats. These are all stats pre-2020 when he was in a good car. That car last year was garbage. It was absolute trash. He has a 15th best average finish at Phoenix. 12th at short tracks, 16th at flat tracks. Guy's actually been pretty good at this track. Starts 27th here. And, I mean, this Trackhouse car, compared to all the cars around him, I would take Trackhouse right now over Roush, Front Row, Spire, and JTG. Maybe not JTG. JTG, Daughtry Racing has actually been really good this year, so maybe not them. But Trackhouse has looked good. It's basically an RCR car they got over there. Starting 27th, he can contend for a top 20 for sure. I want Suarez. I'm not going to play Alfredo. That car, he started, 27 for 28 for the past 3 weeks. That's where he's going to finish, so going to avoid that. Ryan Preece starting 15th. Like I said, JTG has been really good. I'm going to pass on Preece, but I'm interested in Stenhouse because, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. should never be $5,500. Unless he's starting, on the pole. $5,500 for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is way too cheap. I don't want to... I just don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I mean, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. I do want to play that. Starting 11th, he is way too cheap. And, look, I know it's unlikely he's going to, advance his position, but... This is him starting 11th compared to anyone else down here starting 11th. It's more likely him advancing his position than anyone else. I can see it happening. We've seen him run pretty well at Phoenix, 17th best average finish. I know it's worse than a starting spot, but I still don't hate Ricky Stenhouse Jr. as a tournament play only. And then I'm going to talk about J.J. Yaley because people are going to bring him up this week because I know he's racing that 52 for Rick Ware, or is that I don't know which Rick Ware car he's driving. That's on the other sheet, whatever. And it's one of the Rick Ware cars. I think it's number 52. It might be the 53. I don't really know. But one of the Rick Ware cars, J.J. Yaley's in, starting 34th. Don't play him. That car's bad. Just don't do it. I don't want to get any questions this week about J.J. Yaley. Should I play J.J. Yaley? No, don't play J.J. Yaley. That car's awful. It's the same idea of Corey LaJoie. I mean, I know he's cheaper, but the Spire cars are better than the Rick Ware cars. So I'm not going to play J.J. Yeley at all. Just don't ever play any of these guys on here. James Davison, no. Haley, no. Spire sucks. Like, Quinn Half, no. Timmy Hill, no. Bulicki, no. Ware, no. McLeod, no. And we're just not playing those guys ever. So, that's really all I got to say. Thank you guys so much for checking this out. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Go check out the Xfinity Series video. Be here for the live stream on Sunday for the Cup Series. Be here on the live stream for Saturday for the Xfinity Series. Turn on the notification bell. You'll know when I go live. And that's really all I got to say. Have a great rest of your day, and let's make some money this weekend.